Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Joining us as always is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the internet, coming to you live from right here at the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. We are so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
Also here, writer-director John Schnepp.
Hey, what's going on? Rhino horns, banana peels, grandma's boy. Man.
Inside joke.
Inside joke.
Inside joke.
Also at the table, AMC Movie News Editor Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Hey guys, seeing X-Men again tonight. I'm not that excited at all.
Woo!
Also at the table, AMC's very own Alicia Malone.
So jealous. Haven't seen X-Men yet, but I'm going to China tomorrow, so maybe I'll see it there.
Not too
That's
bad.
not a bad consolation.
China!
It looks like the new Harry Potter world film, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, being written by J.K. Rowling, has found its director. According to reports, Academy Award-winning director and veteran of the Harry Potter universe, Alfonso Cuaron, is now in talks to helm the new film. Cuaron is coming off his Oscar win for Gravity and was the director for Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. John, what would you think of Cuaron joining Fantastic Beasts?
Duh. I mean, what? He did that Potter film when his name was still getting, he did Prisoner of Azkaban when his name was still getting really established and all kind of stuff. If you'd asked me yesterday, hey, you think Alfonso Cuarón, Academy Award winner, just did Gravity, is going to come and do, this Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them? I'd say no. No. He is? Okay, so this tells me a couple things. Number one, he really likes working with J.K. Rowling. And that's a good thing. But the other thing is this, as a writer himself, he must love this story. He must love this script. Because right now, his gravitas is as high as it will ever be for the rest of his career right now. He could pick to direct anything he wants. He could go to Feige and say, let me direct Avengers 3, yo. And they go, okay, sure thing, no problem.
As he should.
I mean, he could direct any passion project he's got on the back burner.
Yeah.
Anything he wants to do, he could do. And if he chooses to do this, that tells me it must be, almost swore, effing good. It must be real good. So this is exciting for somebody who's kind of curious about this film. And if you're somebody who's really looking forward to the film, this has got to send you through the clouds. This has got to be really exciting, not just because he's so great, but because it must mean there must be something really good that has attracted him to it. Anyway, Amy Rose, you heard about this. What did you think?
I'm pretty ecstatic about it myself. Obviously, Gravity it kind of raised the bar with just where we're at cinematically, and he's just so talented and so humble, and you're right, he could do anything he wanted to do. And, I mean, he's Warner Brothers' baby right now. He just won them a lot of Academy Awards. Obviously, this property's another WB
Made them
project.
a lot of money.
Lot of money, a lot of prestige. So, yeah, it's not that surprising. And, I mean, this is a really rich world to explore, and he's great at that.
Yeah.
And coming off something that was pretty much a one-man show with Sandra Bullock, this is going to be a lot more whimsical and crazy and lots of creatures, and like I can understand his passion for it. And I mean his first Harry Potter installment was really interesting. The tone was really dark and cool, and I'm excited he's jumping back into this, and we really don't know what to expect. I mean, it's continuing without Harry and Hermione and all of them, so I'm very intrigued what they're going to bring us.
Alicia?
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. Prisoner of Azkaban was my favorite of the Harry Potter movies because it did usher in that great dark tone. And something that Alfonso has shown time and time again is that he's so great at marrying story with the fantastic visuals.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what he brings to this in terms of the stories. I love Harry Potter, but I wasn't actually excited about this one. I was thinking, oh God, here's another grab for cash. But now, I'm in.
Yeah. I echo that. The Prisoner of Azkaban was my favorite of all the Harry Potter movies, and it's because of Cuaron's direction. So
good.
when I heard that this morning, I was like, wow, my excitement about this project exponentially grew. So it's a great call.
All right, what's next?
A new teaser trailer for the upcoming Steve Carell, Channing Tatum, and Mark Ruffalo film Foxcatcher has hit the web. Foxcatcher tells the gripping true story of Olympic wrestling champion brothers Mark Schultz Tatum and Dave Schultz Ruffalo and their relationship with eccentric John DuPont Carell, heir to the DuPont chemical fortune that led to murder. Amy Rose, what do you think of the new trailer for Foxcatcher?
I'm really into this trailer. I think it looks great. I mean, Steve Carell, he showed us part of his dramatic side in the way back, and he was fantastic. I was like, this is a completely different Steve Carell than we've seen. We know he's fantastic at comedy. I mean, I fell in love with him with Brick in Anchorman.
Yeah.
I mean, he's wonderful, and he's done so many of those, and I think this is really smart. And Channing Tatum, I mean, quite a couple of years this man has had as well, and I do think he can act. I don't think he's Oscar worthy yet, but I do think he has potential, and you know, he also has done some dramatics, so this isn't a huge departure for him. But this content, I'm a sucker for sports movies of any kind. I think there's so many different layers of intensity, and this looks like a really cool story, and it's based on truth, and I don't know too much about the actual events, but I am a sucker for historical dramas and sports, so marry those together and I'm in. And this cast, Mark Ruffalo, I mean, he's the best. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one.
This trailer's fantastic.
Yeah.
It just captures an atmosphere and a mood, and you get a sense of who these characters are. And look, we already know that Carell is a formidable dramatic actor. We've seen him he's still best known for comedy. He'll probably always be best known for comedy. But we've seen him when he's taking a shot at dramatic pieces. He's formidable. He's really good. Mark Ruffalo, he's Mark Ruffalo. He's always solid. I have still not been impressed by Channing Tatum in anything dramatic. He has totally won me over with comedy, but I will say this. In his dramatic performances, we've seen a marked improvement every time he's been on the screen. He's been getting better and better and better and better, to the point now that I watch him in this trailer, and it's like he's added some subtlety. Now, this is just judging from a short trailer, but it's like Tatum has learned subtlety. He's learned how to communicate without speaking. He's just getting better. And now suddenly I find myself, damn, I want to see this. I'm starting to think this is going to be the first role I see Tatum in that's not a comedy that I'm really going to enjoy him in, and that excites me even more. Anyway, Schnepp, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, from those trailers, there's only a few quick shots of him alone, but I agree, the subtlety, and you see him not just wooden face, but there's something going on.
Something there, perfect.
Yeah, same thing with Carell. I have yet to see a straight film that he did that wasn't comedy that I liked, and then I saw this trailer, and I was like, finally. You know, I feel like, all right, he's pushing and moving forward in different areas that he hasn't shown us yet. So that, along with just the actual storyline, it seems twisted and weird, and you know, hierarchy kind of control power thing going on. So it looks good to me.
How awesome does Ruffalo look too? Like I had to do a double take. Say, wait a minute, that's Mark Ruffalo. That was pretty cool.
Carell too looks interesting.
Steve looks completely unrecognizable. Not only the prosthetics, but also the voice in this trailer. He's changed himself completely.
Creepy.
And because I have massive FOMO about not being in Cannes, I've been following all the reviews, and this film got a standing ovation, and everyone is saying Oscar nominations, I know it's early days, but for Steve Carell and Channing Tatum, and everyone's saying that Steve Carell is doing something that's even beyond acting.
Wow.
He just becomes this person, and Bennett Miller did that so well with Philip Seymour Hoffman and Capote, and then we saw his sports side of things with Moneyball, so marry the two together. Yeah, I'm excited.
I was gonna say this trailer dropped last year. I remember I saw this trailer and it was quickly pulled, and I was like, "What's going on?" The trailer was incredible, and then I guess they were like, I don't even know if they worked on it or they were just holding it back.
It feels slightly different to me, but you're right. For the most part, it's pretty much the same trailer.
Okay.
All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. Then Schnepp, Amy Rose, Alicia, and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
X-Men Days of Future Past writer Simon Kinberg was recently asked about the possibility of the character Quicksilver, being played by Evan Peters, returning for X-Men Apocalypse. Kinberg replied that he would absolutely be back for the next X-Men movie. Schnepp, buy or sell Quicksilver returning for the next X-Men film?
I buy it. I'm going to be seeing X-Men tonight. Hope it's awesome. But yeah, you know what? You had posted earlier, like the two character actors
Evan
from Kick-Ass.
Peters and Aaron Taylor-Johnson.
And they're both Quicksilver, and it's so weird when to see that image from Kick-Ass and both of the actors. Oh yeah, that's right, they're friends, and now they're both Quicksilver. It's just weird, guys. I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, sure, why not? Why shouldn't he be in the next one?
See, and this really goes. I have not seen X-Men yet. I'm going to go see it tonight with Amy Rose and Dennis and Schnepp. We're all going, and we're leaving Alicia behind because she's kind of a loser.
Oh,
but
no,
she's going to China.
No, she's not.
I
got your back, girl.
Things to do, like go to China.
But this just goes to prove. Remember when the first pictures of Quicksilver came out, and everybody's all, "Oh, he looks so stupid. This is gonna suck. Oh, they should have waited to see how Joss Whedon does Quicksilver right." Okay, I haven't seen X-Men yet. but everybody I've talked to who has, I know several people, including one sit at this table, some people are saying he may be the best part of that whole movie. The movie, like this is a movie, I said this on Facebook the other day. When a movie first comes out and that initial rush of reviews comes out, it can be a high rating, right? So you can get like, I don't know, like Spider-Man 2 will come out, it's got like a 79%. But as the days go on and more reviews get added, you'll see, generally for most movies, that rating come down a little bit. X-Men came out to 91% and it has gone up. Last I checked, it was at 94. So it keeps going up, and a lot of these guys who are rating it so high, saying this might be the best film of the year they're going to see this year, all this kind of stuff, a lot of them are saying Quicksilver is the best part of it. So never just let a costume let you think a character is going to be good or bad.
But both of us were jacking on it when it first came out.
totally
We were
were.
like, that
We
silver
totally-
outfit looks weird, disco style.
But
we were
remember
like,
I said, let's
Weird
keep it
wig.
in context, though.
Disco's
Remember?
awesome.
So let's keep it in context. It is like the 60s, 70s. That wouldn't have looked so
Right.
weird at the time, but it still did look kind of ridiculous, let's be honest. But anyway, Amy Rose, you saw the film. Don't give it away.
I won't.
But
I want to.
does the concept of Quicksilver coming back and being a part of the next X-Men film excite you?
Beyond belief. And I was also in the camp that, oh, he looks really bad. And I'm telling you, I will not reveal anything, but he was one of the best parts, complete scene stealer, crushed exactly how he's supposed to be in the comics. Like, I love what he did here. So, I mean, we were all worried about it because of the whole, lines that they had to dance across with not revealing this and, the
Yeah.
Avengers and this and both properties. But they completely get away with it. They capture all the characteristics I wanted him to, and he crushed it. So I'm so excited for you to see it so I can finally explode and talk to you guys about it. But I'm really excited he's coming back.
And
you
we
will
are,
be too.
By the way, we are going to be recording our AMC spoilers review of X-Men Days of Future Past tomorrow. It'll be online. It'll air on Friday. So watch for that. Alicia won't be in it.
No.
Because she's going to be in China. But
Yeah.
Alicia, do you get excited about the idea that he might be coming back?
Only because of Amy Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I trust this girl, especially when it comes to X-Men. X-Men is your jam. So
jam.
I believe you, even though those Carl's Jr. ads were
Yes.
terrible with Quicksilver, but not his fault, obviously.
Right.
I think it's interesting how we have these two Quicksilvers happening. Simon Kinberg says he thinks audiences these days are sophisticated enough to know the difference. But have we had that before, where there's been two characters played by, the same character played by two different actors at the same time?
Simultaneously.
Because, I mean,
I'd
we've
have to
had
think about
different
it.
Batman, we've had,
Yeah.
but
I mean, maybe
can't
some
think
real
of it.
life stuff, like
Yeah.
one guy's playing the president and the other guy's playing
yeah,
it.
or
But
maybe
like
like
Peter
Snow
Pan.
White or
Stuff,
something,
yeah.
but not comic
Yes, Snow
books,
White.
really.
No, I
Not
don't. I
have
can't
we?
recall that.
had a
So,
couple of
interested
double
to see.
Nixons and double Alfred Hitchcock
Yeah.
movies recently.
Yeah.
And we're going to get two
That's
Peter
right.
Pans. I mean, there's going to be two
It's
incarnations
funny
at
how
the same
this
time,
happens,
but
yeah.
we'll see.
All right, what's next?
The new Jurassic Park film Jurassic World opens in AMC theaters on June 12, 2015, and rumors are beginning to circulate about the plot of the film. According to several very unconfirmed reports, the film is set 20 years after the events of the first Jurassic Park, with scientists able to tame the original breed of dinosaurs. However, these same scientists get overly ambitious and start to experiment by splicing dinosaur genes into currently existing species. This creates disastrous results, not only for the humans, but other dinosaurs as well. One of these creations uses the genes of a T-Rex, raptor, snake, and cuttlefish. John, buy or sell this rumor for Jurassic World?
I don't believe it's true. So I'm gonna, on the one hand, I'm gonna say sell. I don't believe that the rumor is true, so I'm gonna sell it. However, on the other hand, if in theory it was true, I'd buy it because you do have to do something. We're going into the fourth Jurassic Park film. You have to throw in a curveball, something to make it a little bit different. It can't just be, again, another group of people going to an island. Oh no, there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex on the loose. You do have to change it up somewhat. So this sounds like it would be interesting. Like, I know Patton Oswalt always says this great thing about scientists and science. He goes, science, it's all about the coulda, not about the shoulda. And so this whole concept of would they have taken, hey, we grew these dinosaurs, let's splice them in with some other things that will kill humanity. Then that kind of sounds interesting, but no, I don't believe the rumor is true, so overall it's a sell. Amy Rose?
I'm going to buy from hope and anticipation because hybrid beasts like that would be awesome. I love Jurassic Park. I mean, let's just throw Chris Pratt on a T-Rex or something. Let's get really crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited about this, and I think Colin Trevorrow is going to be a fantastic director for this property, so I'm stoked.
Alicia?
Yeah, buy if it's true. If Frankenstein dinosaur sounds
Frankenstein
awesome.
dinosaur.
It also sounds like something that could exist in Australia. We're talking about the flying fox bat. That's
Yeah.
like a fox and a bat together. So this sounds
That
like
sounds awesome.
even scarier.
It's horrific.
Yeah, it is.
They're giant,
Google
too.
it. It is.
You also have
horrific.
spiders that are like this big, so you guys have some
Exactly.
beast over there.
Yeah.
Exactly. But as you said, in this day and age, especially with Godzilla and Pacific Rim and these huge kaiju and monsters, I think you have to up the ante with the dinosaurs. So
up, big girl?
I'm all for this. And Colin Trevorrow, I love him too.
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
great.
Yeah. I'm going to buy everything except for the cuttlefish. Because
Oh, not the cuttlefish?
yeah, I was like, I'm in cuttlefish. But it's weird because they've been working on this fourth Jurassic Park or Jurassic World for years now, and I've seen a lot of production design where they actually talked about doing something very similar to this, where they combine a rhino with a dinosaur, and a lot of artwork.
There was even some of that original concept art you're talking. There was even some sketches about splicing human DNA with the dinosaurs.
That's
and some
what
of
I'm
those really
saying.
weird
So
pieces were
I
coming out.
buy that. I always thought that was a kind of a cool idea, and you do have to progress it. You can't just have them, repeat the same thing, even if it's a reboot. I think, but they're saying the first three existed. We're going to jump off from that. So if that's the case, I think that's a great idea. It sounds great, and it sounds like chaos unleashing these weird hybrid creatures. Sounds awesome.
All right, folks. Well, listen. Every once in a while, I have the people that work with me at AMC Movie News do some really tough things, and sometimes they just got to suck it up and do it. And I went to Amy Rose a few weeks ago. I said, Amy Rose, look, I know you're not going to like this, but I need you to go to New York, and I need you to talk to the cast of X-Men. So we want to know right now, since X-Men: Days of Future Past is opening in AMC theaters everywhere this weekend, we want to share with you a little bit of Amy Rose's conversation with Hugh Jackman. Check it out.
So Professor X in the franchise history of X-Men, which
Yes.
I adore, has always tried to instill this sense of hope and,
Yes.
team and philosophy in Logan.
Yeah.
But they kind of had a bit of a role reversal in this one.
You got it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Did I? It's exactly as you say, and so much fun for me as Logan, as Wolverine, to be in the position of encouraging, mentoring, trying to impart wisdom to Professor X, who's at probably the lowest point of his life, It was so different for me and so different for the character. I loved it. And I'm working with those guys. How James and Michael filled the shoes so well of Ian and Patrick, I have no idea. But they not only did you can feel the other actors and their characters, but they also made it their own.
Mm-hmm. Now, 7 times reprising the role of this amazing character, 4 different directors.
Yes.
How does a different director kind of stepping on set, obviously you've worked with Singer before, but how does that dictate the Wolverine we see? Or is it kind of just like coming home since you've played it so many times?
No, I'm an actor who loves direction. I come from the theatre where you get direction. You rehearse for 8 weeks, and I love it. And, I think Brian has always challenged me from the beginning because he cast me. He knows we have a very sort of close working relationship in that way, and he's always pushing me. For example, on the last one with James Mangold, he rode me like, I tell you, he really pushed me because he wanted me and I wanted him to push me so I could go into places I hadn't been before. For me, it's really important as an actor, but I think out of respect for the audience and for that character to keep showing different sides, to put him in situations you haven't seen him in before.
Especially coming off that, because that was like the most fierce Wolverine we've seen.
Yeah, exactly.
And this was perhaps the softest.
Exactly.
Which was fun for you, obviously, to play up.
You just reminded me, my son yesterday pulled me aside and he said, Dad, I've got an idea. If you do another Wolverine, I don't think you should even get his claws out. Wouldn't it be nice just to have a whole movie of just seeing him at peace? Maybe he like gardening and stuff like that. And I was like, that would be a lot easier on the training side, but I'm not sure fans are going to take 2 hours of seeing Wolverine garden.
I don't know.
Who
We'll
knows?
take it. Well, you were fantastic. We cannot wait to
Thanks,
have it on our
Amy.
screens.
Thank
you so much.
All the best.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Once again, X-Men: Days of Future Past opens in AMC theaters everywhere this week. Tickets are available now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. All right, folks, is that part of the show for Mailbag? Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you would like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, I'm also going to let you know we're going to save a few minutes at the end of the show for those of you who are watching us live to tweet in some live questions. You can tweet into us right now at AMC Movie News, and at the end of the show, Ashley will pick out a couple of questions from the Twitter sphere. But for now, it's time for Mailbag. So, Ashley, what's in the mailbag?
Aaron Durham writes, I watch this show daily during my lunch break. You guys are awesome. I'm a huge fan of the DC animated universe, and I think that Bruce Timm has done a great job creating stories for the characters in those universes. Why do the studios not consult Bruce more often when creating motion pictures like Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, etc.? Thanks and keep up the great work.
So it's going to be my job again to say the really unpopular thing, so I'll do it. We got to keep in mind, and what people often forget is that animation and live action, not only are they two completely different mediums, but our expectations are different. What our brains are expecting to see when we watch them are completely different. I love Under the Red Hood, the Batman animation. I freaking love that animated movie a lot. I think it's great. Jensen Ackles does the voice of Jason Todd, and it's just really, really cool. However, if you did a shot-by-shot live version of that reenactment, it would come across as hokey and cheesy and just silly and not work at all. Just from switching the mediums, because what we expect to see and what we need to see on the screen and what translates right in one medium for another are completely different. I know a lot of people really raved about that new Justice League one, Justice League War. I don't know if you saw that one. I didn't like it. I mean, a lot of people raved about it, but I'm trying to imagine those conversations between the heroes in Justice League War, if they actually happened in a live action thing and you had that kind of dialogue going on, it would be laughed out of the theater. But it works great, in an animated setting. Just the same thing. If you take a live action movie and translate it just into animation, word by word, shot by shot, it also probably wouldn't work. You got guys who are really good and gifted and talented at bringing, one medium to the screen. It doesn't necessarily mean they can't do the other one, but it doesn't necessarily mean they could be good at the other one either. So they're two different mediums, and therefore I don't really see it as, well, it just makes sense. Bring this one guy who makes terrific ice cream in to cook my steak. It doesn't I don't have that equation. Anyway, Schnepp, when you think about this, because we've had this discussion before,
Sure.
actually, how would you approach it? How would you answer that?
Well, Bruce Timm, I mean, he's a really talented guy. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
he's shepherded all of from the Batman the animated series all the way through animated series at Warner Brothers right now.
The Wonder Woman animated film is really good too. I don't know if he was involved with that one, but the Wonder Woman.
He's involved in
animated
all of
film
them on a producer
Right.
level, but that was actually directed by this great animation director, this female. I can't remember her name right now, but she's an amazing animation director, and she's directed a couple of films. She might have even done War, I'm pretty sure. This other guy named Jason, he directed the Dark Knight Returns animated adaptation of Frank Miller's comic book, and I thought that was, I mean, you have to remember too, with a lot of these direct-to-video animated films, the budget is not high. It's sometimes not even over $1 million. And a lot of it's shipped over to overseas. The budgets are very constricted, so the animation directors and the directors all have a really hard job to pull off shots that we're used to seeing in these mega budget $100 million epics that we're used to now. So even though it's cartoons, it costs a lot less. Even then, you still have to, everything's dampened down a little bit because the money that they're going to get back from it is a lot less.
Yeah.
So that has a lot to do with a lot of the modern animation. But as far as Bruce Timm being involved, it's a totally different field. I mean, it's just because he's doing this one animated cartoon series, I agree with you. It doesn't mean he's going to jump into say Zack Snyder's world of the world that he already established with Man of Steel. In fact, their Supermans are night and day. So they would
totally
be
different,
probably
yeah.
fighting each other and one or the other kicking each other off the set. It wouldn't mesh at all. So,
Amy Rose?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can work. It can.
Sure, absolutely
We're obviously
can.
speaking
Joss Whedon's an
in-
example of that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of examples that could translate, but it is a different medium. It is a different energy that they bring to it. And I mean, he is very respected in bringing those properties to life. And I mean, I think we basically just want hope in DC property. It's been just kind of all over the place with Batman vs. Superman. And I mean, there are elements that we're excited about, elements that scare us a little bit. And I mean, compared to Feige, I mean, we all pretty much trust in everything that he touches at this point. Guardians, that incredible trailer that just dropped, same thing. So I actually just watched the whole Dark Knight trilogy again over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of Nolanites. We would have liked that. I think we just like consistency. So if we see someone who did something really well with this property, but again, it doesn't always work that way. I mean, we were just talking about Star Trek directing that, Roberto Orci, who is stepping over there. He might be really good as well on that, but we don't have that yet, but he knows the property. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Time will tell. But just because someone's really good over here doesn't necessarily mean it's a shoo-in,
Alicia?
Yeah, I think DC does try to keep all their universes quite separate.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
the animated series and they have the TV shows. Arrow is one thing, Gotham is something different, and then the movies are separate. And you had the the Dark Knight trilogy, and now you've got the Batman, Superman. So I think it's smart to keep them all separate and make them all different. Although sometimes I wish that they would have an overarching consistency
Yeah.
because it's hard to grasp all these different stories. But yeah, I agree with you.
All right, what's next?
Ryan Wise writes, "Hello AMC crew, I love the show and I watch every day. Got hooked in November and have been watching since.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
My question is, do you think X-Men Days of Future Past will beat Godzilla in the box office this weekend? There's been a small streak of movies only being #1 at the box office for 1 week since TASM 2 came out, and I wonder if it'll continue. Thanks and keep being awesome."
If I had $1 billion to bet on that, I would. Yes. Yeah. No, it's X-Men is going to destroy Godzilla at the box office. We remember because Godzilla is going to be in its second week. Godzilla made $93 million in its opening weekend. A good second week is if you drop by like less than 50%. So with another major film opening, you can expect to see Godzilla probably make $30 million this next weekend, whereas X-Men Days of Future Past is probably going to be in the $120 to $125 million range opening weekend. So yeah, it will completely. This will not be a back-to-back number one week. If it does,
No.
I quit.
I mean, we do like to gamble, and this just is not even like a guess because this has so much going for it. It has the diehard X-Men fan property, like they don't even care who's directing it, whatever, it's in. They have all that ensemble. This is pretty much the best troupe of actors to be in one picture together. I mean, ridiculous. The old cast, the new cast. And then, I mean, I saw it in New York when I did the junket, and I brought my friend Nicole, who's not an avid X-Men fan, but she appreciates good film. And the film was over. She turned to me, she grabbed my arm, she's like, "That was fantastic." It doesn't even matter what is about. This film is just a great film. It's not just a great comic book film. This is an amazing film. So it is going to crush. It deserves everything it deserves. I'm going to try to hold my nerdgasm to myself, but it's freaking phenomenal.
Schnepp, what could happen between now and Thursday that would conceivably make Godzilla beat X-Men?
Godzilla is real. Someone in Tokyo is like, Gojira has risen. Then everyone's like, what? You know?
Gojira.
That's it. Or mutants all of a sudden come out of, hey, we've been around the whole time, like weird flipper, like these floating guys. Then that would be the tipping point. But otherwise, I think X-Men is going to demolish the box office.
And
Lisa,
not
any
only
difference?
here, but also overseas as well.
yeah.
I mean, X-Men First Class made 60% of its revenue from foreign markets, and nowadays 80% of a studio's business comes from international. So X-Men, it's a beloved property, and you have the cast. Here in America, of course, you've got the Memorial Day weekend, so it's even a longer weekend. So yeah, about 120 million here, and then it'll do gangbusters
China,
overseas.
you're going to see it in China.
I'm going to see it with my friends in China.
Subtitles are cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see it actually, see what it's like in China to watch a film like that. But yeah, it's going to demolish here and overseas.
Woo!
All right, well, I said we leave a couple minutes for some Twitter questions. We're going to do just that. So send in your questions to @AMC Movie News. Make sure you're following us too at AMC Movie News. And Ashley's over there. Ashley, what are you picking out?
Patrick Hogue writes, with comedic actors trying drama, such as Steve Carell in Foxcatcher, which comedian would you like to see try their hand at a drama?
We addressed a slightly similar question to this not so long ago. Who is a really good comedic guy who we'd like to see trying drama right now? I'd be very curious to see Andy Samberg try something dramatic. I've always really enjoyed him and especially his SNL shorts. And his Lonely Island stuff is really so great. I think it'd be really interesting to see him try something dramatic.
Saw a taste in Celeste and Jesse Forever.
I was just going to say,
The film
with
he did
Rashida
with
Jones,
Rashida
who's a goddess.
There's some really funny moments, but there's also some dramatic ones, so I think he could definitely do it. I'd like to see Adam Sandler return to Punch Drunk Love
so would I.
era, because he was so great at that.
What about you guys? Any comedians come off the top of your mind that you think you'd like to see try that?
I know, I think of comedians that have done it that I'd like to see more, like Robin Williams. He was amazing. I want more Dead Poets Society from you, you know, and like Jim Carrey, he's done a lot of here, but he's a really good dramatic actor. I want more Eternal Sunshines, you know, so I can't think of one off the top of my head that I would like to see go there, but I can think of actors that have done both that I'd like to see them return.
I'd say like Seth Rogen and James Franco and Scooby-Doo.
A really heavy dramatic
And I'm not kidding, a serious drama where Shaggy just hears Scooby in Seth Rogen's voice, but they're like he's baked out all the time.
Someone
Scooby's
actually
like just
rips up.
Seth's voice, like, hey man, I can't do Seth Rogen. That's Seth Rogen. And I don't know, but hey, let's go get a sundae, and it's just a real drama.
Awesome.
I got
I'm
one.
down. What's that?
Louis C.K.
Yeah, well,
Lucy
We
Gray
saw a
means
bit of it in
Blue
American
Jasmine.
Hustle and Blue Jasmine, and those
Yeah.
are little roles, but I'd like to see him get like a big role because he's so charismatic and wonderful, and he's got the chops, and yeah, I'd really like him.
He
Okay.
has an edge.
Let's fire through a couple more.
Rodney Hunt writes, love the show. Have you ever disliked a film on first viewing, but after repeated viewings liked or maybe loved the movie?
Yeah, my biggest one for that is Inglourious Bastards. I saw Inglourious Bastards. Told the story at Comic-Con last year. I saw Inglourious Bastards the first time, and I hated it. I thought it sucked. And then like a few months later, once it was out on video, I was on a date. This is right before I started dating Anne, actually. I was out on a date, and the girl wanted to watch Inglourious Bastards, so I'm like, hey, whatever is going to advance my cause here, sure, whatever. So we put in Inglourious Bastards, and by the end of the film, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking?
We don't know,
This
John.
movie is awesome.
It's awesome.
So that's the big one for me. Anyone for you guys?
Wolf of Wall Street for me. The first time I
really?
saw it, it made me feel sick, and I hated all the characters. And then, of course, I
Wow.
realized that's kind of the point. And that's what Scorsese does so well. So when I knew what I was in for the second time, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
You, Rose?
Mine was definitely There's Something About Mary because I saw it way after all the jokes were spilled and hype was so high, and I was just like, okay. So I saw it and I was like, eh. And then I saw it again with managed expectations because
Yeah.
those are pretty much the root of all evil. And I was like, this is really clever. And Cameron Diaz, who usually doesn't do it for me, I think she's really overrated, was really charming and great in that film. So that was definitely one of them.
Shep?
None come to mind right now.
What about Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2. Hatred bubbling inside. Yeah.
All right, let's ask one more.
Okay, Abe Gonzalez writes, hey guys, can you see an adaptation of Breaking Bad on the big screen? Thanks.
You know what? Breaking Bad is a movie that is a story that I believe you could tell in a 2-hour and 15-minute movie. Obviously not as great and epic and as deep as watching six seasons, right? Five seasons worth of television show. But I believe that is a story you can tell in a film. But it wouldn't. Don't expect to see something like that happen in the next 5 years. But at some point, I could totally see a studio wanting to take a
I
crack at
just
that.
don't think it's necessary. It ended in such a perfect way, and I just
No,
don't
not
think
not a continuation.
just like
but-
a retelling.
Yeah, like a movie version of Breaking Bad.
I mean, it could, but again, I just don't want it to be touched. And Vince, the creator, is not a cash grab hoe. He's just not. I mean, he really cares about the integrity of his work, and I just don't see it going
As a
there.
rich man, he's
Could it work?
good with that.
But
yes.
but literally, there's not one moment in that season where I was like, really, you had to go there. It was true to his art form, and I don't think that they would. I mean, sure, money talks, we know that, but I think it could work. Is it necessary? No. Should it happen? I wouldn't like to see that.
Well, no film in history was ever necessary.
That's not true.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I
Excellent.
mean, that would be an interesting reversal almost, as like films going to the television well. I mean, they've been doing that with like Green Acres. They just announced that.
Yeah.
But I mean, something so recent as Breaking Bad, I think it would be a mistake because it's like it is a story told so well over the course of
So
many years, and to try to summarize that in a 2-hour movie. But I just don't think it would come across that well. Could it be done? Yes, but you're not going to get those same fans. I don't think.
Rosemary's Baby, they're doing the opposite as well. I don't think
Yeah.
that
Right,
should be
stretching
done.
that.
Films
out.
and TV. Well, maybe I'll finally catch up with Breaking Bad. If it
Do it.
because
best.
it's just there's a lot of episodes and there's a lot of movies I would like to watch.
Right.
But I agree, you'd have to cut out so much after 5 seasons to make a movie that I love how TV can tell a story slowly and then it ends completely. I already know the ending of Breaking Bad.
And that's what
unfortunately.
it's all about, the characters. Like, they're so rich. So I don't think that would translate as well, but,
Yeah.
All right, well, that will do it for us, folks. Thanks so much for joining us today for this episode of AMC Movie Talk. Don't forget, lots of great films playing in AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for all your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video, and you'll find links to our Stitcher and our iTunes, of course. And you can find us on TuneIn Radio as well. And listen, sorry, I got a crumb stuck in my throat from before. If you have not done so already, make sure you click that subscribe button, become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. And I want to thank the people sitting at the table with me. First of all, sitting to my left, the China-bound, Miss Alicia Malone. Alicia, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Alicia Malone or my website, malonesmovieminute.com. I'll be back tomorrow, though.
And to my right, she is, of course, the senior editor of movie news here at AMC, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose, where can people find you online?
On Instagram and Twitter at Amy Rosie. Thanks so much.
And the one, the only, I love that shirt, by the way, the They Live shirt.
Live.
That's pretty awesome. Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you online?
Roddy Piper, They Live. See that 5-minute fight scene. I think it's 5 minutes. It's longer than 5 minutes.
It is a long
Somebody
fight.
timed it's 5:34 or something. But you can find me at Twitter and Instagram, John Schnepp.
I'm trying to get my Seth Rogen as Scooby. Hey, get me some Scooby snacks.
And our lovely host today, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Ashley Mova. Have a good one, guys.
And you can find me on all the various social media networks just at John Campia. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. My name's John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.